ready when you are.
The reviews are in. Barbie's hot.
Barbie's hot. Have you seen?
Everyone says it's good.
Have you seen this scene with Simu?
I've seen nothing.
And Ryan Gosling?
No, I saw that Simu was in it, maybe, but yeah, I haven't seen a thing besides pictures.
Yeah.
No.
It's hysterical.
Yeah,
the scene's really funny.
I read a thing that said like, oh, it's PG-13. They're gonna try to make it, like Shrek-esque, like fly over the radar little kids' heads, but make it adult.
My understanding is the word motherfucker is in it, so that's really not over anybody's head, I don't think.
Yeah, that's not very PG-13.
No, it's not.
I wonder what, like, obviously it's very difficult. Like, it's easy to say, like, oh, be funny for everyone.
Yeah.
But, like, Shrek did it so well.
Yeah, Shrek was really smart. Had a really smart script.
You know what I mean? Where, like, 8-year-olds aren't going to get it, 12-year-olds are going to raise an eyebrow, and then 18-year-olds and adults are going to laugh.
But Looney Tunes was like that, too.
They're pretty good.
The old ones.
Yeah.
Like, you had to know.
They're pretty good. They weren't, as, like, maybe sexual as Shrek sneaks in, but they were definitely snuck in adult shit.
No.
But I just wonder why that's not, like, the norm. Because it obviously will hit every audience.
Yeah. I got to see if I can catch this as it comes around. I don't know if we'll get flagged for this, but whatever.
For you, Ken. If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
I'll beat you off with you any day, Ken.
Hold my ice cream, Ken. All right, Ken, you're on.
He looks scared.
Let's beat you off.
Anyone who wants to beat him off has to beat me off first. I will beat both of you off at the same time.
But you don't even know how to beat yourself off. How are you going to beat both of us?
I got Michael Cera's in it.
Why are you
beat
getting
yourself off?
emotional?
You're going to beat both of us off?
Nobody's going to beat anyone off.
Looks like this beach.
Who's the black guy in the background? Looks like a young Aubrey Marcus. Is it Aubrey Marcus? Not Aubrey Marcus. Aubrey Graham.
He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he looks like Drake.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I saw that clip this morning. Cracked me up.
Yeah, it's a little more
cracked me up
front than maybe a Shrek.
Yeah, it made a lot of money. The combination of okay, so Barbie is the biggest opening by a female director ever. Sacramento's own Greta Gerwig.
Oh, I didn't know she made it.
Directed it. Yeah, wrote it with her husband.
Lady Bird?
Lady Bird, yep.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know she made that.
Yeah.
That's cool then. Because, like, Lady Bird, although it did well and probably, like, got some awards and shit, it was still, like, underground.
Yeah.
In a way.
The brother of one of my son Jake's, like, grammar school friends was real close friends with Greta Gerwig.
What is she? Is she my age? I never heard about her.
She's got to be a little bit older.
Older?
Because you're a little bit younger than Jake, and so probably like maybe 3 years older.
And it was St. Francis, right?
Yeah, she went to St. Francis.
Because there's another girl I know that was in like Pitch Perfect and Very Hollywood. That's my grade from I think maybe Loretto though.
Oh.
Yeah, she was in Pitch Perfect, and she dated Adam Devine. Dated him for a bit.
Yeah.
So she's running like that.
He's a wild card.
Yeah, he just came out with something. Oh, it was a Netflix movie. I watched it.
Yeah.
Very Netflix.
I was gonna say that's the thing to say about Netflix for sure.
Yeah, I was just talking to a friend how I guess Barbie, and obviously it's getting hype, and it's cool that it turned out decent. But that was every summer, and I kind of miss that. Because we're obviously hitting the lull from pandemic,
right.
Movies being produced, but every summer you'd have like 5 movies that you could kind of get excited about.
Big blockbusters.
Yeah, they ain't got to be great, but just something to kind of get excited about. And now there's not that many. My prediction, because me and Abby were talking about the money coming in, because what Barbie did like 45% better than Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, yeah, I read with Oppenheimer did like 50 something.
Yeah, and they did like 144 or no. 99, whatever it is. It's a close to half a ratio.
Yeah.
My prediction is in the next 2 weeks, Oppenheimer will close that gap.
Oh, that's a possibility.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see.
Because everyone says, obviously they say Barbie's good, but it's just a different type of movie. Everyone says Oppenheimer's like art.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's fucking good.
Classic.
Yeah.
Timeless, whatever.
They say Nolan's best original ever.
Probably so.
Yeah.
The thing about Barbie, though, is because it's not available on anything else yet, the chance that people will go back and see it.
Is Oppenheimer? You can get it on Hulu or some bullshit?
No, but like it's fucking 3 hours long, so
true. And it's
you're not going to go back and see it again.
And the demographics less, right? Because it's
whereas
just adults.
Barbie, people will go a bunch of times.
And their marketing was crazy.
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah, their marketing was everywhere.
So nuts.
Yeah, I didn't know Simu's in it.
Yeah, I didn't either until I saw that clip. But
Our fellow Barber Brigade friend.
all the guys are called Ken.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like a multiverse of dolls.
Yeah.
I think I guess even though their marketing was so good, one thing they didn't do well is show that it's not for kids. Because I only heard that from people that went and saw it.
Yeah.
You know, and they obviously that clip, but
Yeah.
if you don't see any of that and you just see like the little towns they pop up or the Corvettes they're driving around or the posters,
Right,
you think,
right.
oh, it's probably just for kids. And then until people went, then they told me, oh no, it's actually good and it's for adults. So maybe you're right, if that rumor spreads, more folks will show up.
Probably so. We were just talking about the fact that Bronny James
Cardiac arrest.
had a cardiac arrest, and that kind of cardiac arrest is not all that uncommon for teenagers, teenage boys particularly.
I heard for some reason the black community actually has a higher percent in athletes than other
and
backgrounds.
My wife was saying this morning the trick is that like if they can put them on an AED, automated pacemaker, and get them to cardio convert, they're just fine.
For life or
Probably
turn
life.
around?
Yeah, probably life. It's just
Athletics?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Shout out to him. Glad he's out at ICU. I mean, I can't imagine being 18 and your whole life's in front of you. You're excited. It's like your first week of real practice, and then something crazy like this happens. So, shout out to him and their family. Hopefully he's all right.
They'll probably watch him pretty closely for a bit.
I bet.
But I don't think that it's like, oh, his athletic career is over. I don't think that's the case at all.
Maybe not physically, but you start to get into,
The psychological component?
well, or the school component.
Oh.
They can cut you, He's their third he's their third best player. They could cut him
Oh, yeah.
and do whatever they want with him,
Yeah.
And now your reputation's weird.
Yeah.
Will another school take a chance on you? Will they not? How long do you have to sit out if you get rusty? Season's in 2 months.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. Obviously, he has like a double-sided sword where one edge, like you're LeBron's kid, so you get like bennies, but then you're also LeBron's kid, so you're going to get pushed a little harder.
Yeah. For sure.
The microscope's on you. So next week, if he stubs his toe walking down the stairs, he gets dropped from USC because now he's uncoordinated.
We're on guard right now for Nepo babies too, so
I don't even know what that is.
Nepotism kids whose parents are famous.
Yeah.
Trying to, write on
Do
their
things.
parents' name. Yeah.
Yeah, was it USC that got ripped? Who got ripped for all that? Water polo and shit? Celebrities buying their kids?
USC.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. That wasn't just Nepo. That was straight up like bribery.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah. No, I'm just saying, it is, and USC historically is obviously very good at football and is up and down in basketball, but this squad is really good in basketball. They got like 3 top recruits, so it's kind of like their year to make a little bit of a statement for Southern California, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It makes me excited to watch college basketball at least. But there's already rumors on Twitter like, the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to now push to grab Bronny if USC falters in their faith in them.
Interesting.
No.
Yeah.
Especially with like COVID rules haven't changed in sports, so you can like transfer a lot. You used to have to like transfer and then wait a year out and do all this shit with NC2A, but now they don't give a fuck. It's like a pro sport. So
Interesting.
yeah. They can do, I think, just about anything except trade you for money.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. It's gotten so different. Then the NIL stuff, so you can get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's shit. The landscape has changed quickly in the last 3 years for that sport. People are it's professional. You can the chance that you play 4 years at the same college is almost never going to happen again.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize
sucks.
it had gotten that severe.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. Everyone's just flying around. Which it's good for unrecognized talent because it is political, right? So if you're pretty good, then you go to Sac State, you show out. Now you can hop to USC and start right away and not waste your years. But then, programs like Sac State and shit suffer.
Yeah, so if you're one of those programs, you get somebody who ends up being really, really good, but you're only going to have them for that year.
Literally just happened.
Yeah.
Sac State went crazy last year.
Yeah.
Coach left to Stanford, running back, who's Little Jerry's friend in our gym, played college high school
Jerry.
football. Yeah, Little Jerry. They played high school football together. Arizona State. I think the quarterback from Sac State went to Stanford with the coach. The whole team's gone. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, overnight. Where in the past that might happen because it was a kind of a miracle Sac State was so good, but then they'll all have to wait a year or two. They'll have to redshirt. and hang out and then play. So it makes you rethink that transfer at least.
Yeah.
Different games, different times.
Yeah. Another thing that hit me this morning, totally different topic, but it's a thing I didn't realize. This is actually an article from the Washington Post, but it was in the front page of the Bee because it involves California law. Obviously, in our space, there are a lot of people who carry the title of doctor who are not medical doctors.
Yeah.
Well, I did not.
Or are medical doctors and then come into our space for whatever reason.
For whatever reason, yeah.
Talking about squats.
But like there are people, there are chiropractors and there are physical therapists, and that seems like a somewhat more legitimate use of the title doctor, because there was at least some medicine in there. In hopefully, yeah, in what they learned. And then there are people who have PhDs and EDDs who call themselves doctor.
Yep.
Some of them are working in the, training or the nutritional space, but not necessarily have the academic preparation for those things, carry the title of doctor, but are not doctors.
Right.
And, the whole issue of registered dietitians being really the only people who are legally allowed to set your nutrition plans.
Yeah, that law I don't know, because the nutritionist dietitian balance. Yeah. Nutrition is obviously easier to get. Yeah. It's not a cert. It might be a 2-year deal. And then, dietitian's like it's a master's.
Master's, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know the law there.
It's a big deal.
But in our space in general, the amount of people that give out nutrition advice recklessly.
Yeah, and people who call themselves doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
I tend to never refer to someone who is not a medical doctor as a doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to put PhD behind your name, that's fine, whatever. But when you call yourself a doctor and you're working in a health-related space, I think maybe calling yourself a doctor, if you're not a medical doctor, is a little bit of, I'm not going to say fraud.
No, but it's all like,
it's a little
it's just marketing.
Bait and switchy marketing,
Yeah, because if it didn't hold a white coat bias, then people wouldn't use it, obviously.
Right.
They know what they're doing.
But the thing I didn't know is that in California, unless you are a medical doctor,
can't go by doc?
You can't go by doctor.
Interesting.
And
I wonder what the line is. Because like verbally, right?
Right.
You can go by whatever the fuck you want.
Market yourself.
That's fair.
Under California law, only physicians and surgeons can use the word doctor or the prefix DR.
That's why we got Dr. Doogie Howser in our gym. Daniel.
Oh, Daniel, yeah.
He looks like he's 12.
He does look like he's 12.
Yeah, he's about to be a surgeon or some shit. He's really smart, yeah.
Is he, and I know he's really smart. But
no, he's literally doing surgery. He's cutting people open.
Fuck me,
really? Yeah, he told me. Yeah, he said he's literally cut people open. Because he's in clinicals or whatever.
Not like an I'll cut you kind of.
No, not in the bato times. No, yeah, he said if he gets the right, like in clinicals, he has the same like mentor over and over that he literally helps him already.
Wow.
I mean, he's 27. He just looks young.
Oh, he looks really, really young.
Yeah. So he's paid his dues. Yeah. I call him Doc.
That's
I
crazy.
Introduce him as our doctor. He like blushes. I was like, "Well, you're about to be, dude. You'll be all right."
He's also jacked.
Yeah, he's very jacked. Very jacked.
He's not a tall man, but
no.
he told us at dinner on Friday night that he's like, yeah, my dad's a 5'11" white guy.
Yeah, I heard his dad's hella white.
Yeah, he is not. Anyway, this case involves a nurse who got a PhD. So she has a master's in nursing.
That's like extra like slimy then.
Yeah, and has a master's and is a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
And so has always kind of used this, but
what's her PhD in?
It's got to be nursing practice. It's nursing practice.
That's an odd PhD.
Yeah, well, normally when you get one of those,
yeah,
it's so that you can teach, and I think that she does teach.
Yeah, because then that's what I was going to say.
But if you also see patients,
yeah, professor's a good term, right? If someone's like, done a lot of education on the higher up, like that's a respectful title to earn, rather than like doctorate of history or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
according to professor.
This is, if you read the law literally, it appears to prohibit even PhDs and university professors from using the title. I also think that if you have a PhD but you're not teaching at a university, that using doctor is
weird.
Weird and confusing.
It is, but I mean, everyone's just walking around this round ball in space trying to get attention.
I mean, I have a master's degree and I don't call myself a master. Whatever,
I don't know. Master has the same fly anymore. Yeah.
Master, commander.
Start making Seabass call you master. We get some racial lawsuits.
Seabass would probably do whatever, but not even think about it. But he's over there.
It's not even a master bedroom.
No.
Everyone keeps correcting me. We're doing a bunch of house tours, and I say master. I'm like, fuck. I mean, it's just in my brain. I never put that together. And I understand how people do, and I understand the history of it clearly. But when you're casually speaking,
right.
20 years of my life, we called it a master room. Or the master room.
The master bedroom?
Yeah. But it's not.
What are you calling it?
The primary.
Oh.
And I get it.
I don't see that on Zillow or on Realtor.com. Swear to God.
Every realtor, I've talked to probably 7 realtors in the last 6 months. Yeah, it's all primary.
You trying to tell me that Las Vegas is woke?
No, I think the whole world. Yeah, I think the whole world. They're here too. And the master one is something I mean I understand. It has real history.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not woke. I don't like all the dog shit, but master, that's a little deep rooted.
Okay, I'm gonna find it right here.
That one's justified in my book. You get my stamp.
Does it say in Zillow? Does it say?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they all moved away from as much as they can.
Doesn't really. This particular listing doesn't say. Yep, master bedroom with private bath.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's probably just by what realtor puts it up.
Yeah, because I don't think it's a. My daughter-in-law works in real estate. I should ask her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's primaries.
I'm gonna text her right now, and I'm gonna ask. Is master bedroom racist?
Yeah, I mean that's in the eye of the beholder, right? That's in the eye of the beholder.
I would never have thought of that one. I mean,
that's that was my point.
At all.
It's like I don't think about it, but the roots are clearly lined. Where else did it come from?
Well, here's the thing. It might have been the master's bedroom, but like there were no slaves sleeping in the house, so like I don't know.
No, but I don't know if that's a relevant fact.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I bet you talk to like British folks. I bet you they say primary.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, and the rest of the world, I doubt the translation is direct to master.
It may not be, but
like Spanish or French or something.
But the whole master bedroom implies that there's an ensuite. The bathroom.
Yeah.
In the it's not just bigger, but in America it applies.
Yeah. That's like the norm-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, it's just the biggest room.
Yeah. Although they're starting to build places now that are 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Most new houses have a bath attached to each room.
Yeah. Which makes sense. So 2-bedroom, 3-bath, really.
Yeah. Ours is like 3 and 3.
It's like 2.5.
Yeah. Ours is 3 and 3. Ours is 3 and 3.5.
Really? Yeah.
I think that's the new norm. Yeah, and then the other one's just the biggest. And normally it's put away.
Yeah.
Where the other rooms might be next to each other. The master's like hidden somewhere or on the upside of the kitchen or some shit.
Yeah. That's how our house is, but that's because it was that part of the house was added on,
separately.
30 years later.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So we spent the weekend in L.A.
Yeah. Little Los Angeles time. Barbell Brigade. The Mecca. Maybe the first to do it.
The West Coast Mecca.
Yeah. I think it's still like the Mecca to me. And I understand the West Side thing. But, like, if you're not invited, you literally have a sign that, like, says, I'm going to sound so woke on this episode, but you have, like, a sign that says, like, no women go in there, like, all this stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be invited. It's all, like, you can't be a member.
Yeah.
Like, does that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that a lot of people refer to the Golds in Venice, which is also known in LA
true,
as
the Mecca. True.
But it's the Mecca of bodybuilding.
Yeah, not our world.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you take powerlifting and you turn it to a public gym, but I think Barbell, as far as I know, is the first to like do it on a large scale.
Yeah.
That's why I call it the Mecca.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
understandable.
Like, obviously the YouTube, Instagram world, but like, I couldn't think of even super training. You know, you like had to get there in like a weird way. You know, you kind of not invite necessarily, but you kind of got to know a guy to know a guy. You can show up, but chances are you aren't going to last. You know, you kind of have to wiggle your way in. Where, yeah, Golds, you could obviously just sign up, get a membership. West Side, you got to know somebody to kind of sneak in or get invited.
Yeah.
And there was other like little powerlifting ones. You know, like probably like so Wyoming, Oklahoma. We knew some guy that owned a powerlifting gym here and there, but still, it's more like men's clubs.
A little bit, yeah.
You know, it was like rent a space, your homies train there. So to open it big and then to open it in LA, and I think they're going on maybe 11 years, 12 years. Barbell Brigade, something like that. It's probably 13, 14. Yeah, it's probably 10 years.
Oh, wow.
9, 10 years, which is crazy.
The response from my daughter-in-law is some people definitely think so. They think it's racist. I understand the reasoning. The primary term is, or popular replacement term, pardon me, is primary bedroom. Owner's suite is one I've heard, but is less common.
Yeah. Yeah, I just keep hearing primary.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably never going to make that replacement in my head because I never thought about it as being racist, and I don't think that I think a lot of people don't. So
Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to be anti-woke here, but or woke or anything else, but
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the tough part about anything. If you have something regular in your speech,
yeah,
and it's regular in your movies, and it's regular in society, and then but it harms some people, and I don't know who gets harmed because everyone's just fucking on Twitter.
Oh no, it's X now.
Yeah,
It's not Twitter anymore. It's X.
Yeah, I read some. I don't know if they're conspiracies or like people trying to fill that out too. It makes sense. Like he wants a platform for like everything, which I understand, right? And that's why like I think he's going to long form and he's trying to entice. He just added ad rev there, like big ad rev for videos.
But he's very selective about who he's giving it to.
Yeah, you got to pay them to get it. But so is YouTube now. You know, everyone's rules change. Twitch is probably the most selective. It's impossible to get paid on Twitch now.
Really?
Yeah, it's really hard. You need like, you could fit all their categories. It's like 100 concurrent viewers, stream 30 days, like all these things, and still get rejected, even though you hit each point.
Really?
Yeah. It's an application process, like college.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that's kind of here nor there for me at least, but I do know that he wants to pay equal or above YouTube. He's trying to entice them big.
Which ain't much.
No, yeah, which it all sucks. But yeah, and then he's enticing a bunch of people. I see him tweeting fucking Mr. Beast and shit to put their stuff up there, or other like.
I've heard that it's Zeets now.
What's Zeets?
Instead of
that's
tweets.
how you say it.
Yeah.
I don't know where you go with that, especially when threads are out and we didn't even know what to call that.
Threads are just threads.
Yeah, what's you could just call it a post, right?
You can call anything
like
a post.
Instagram doesn't have any cool names. Oh, Reels. But you still call it a post.
Story.
Yeah, I still call it a post.
Post.
Did they invent story?
Instagram?
Yeah.
Probably.
Snap? Did Snap have it first? I think Snap had it first technically, but I don't know if they called it.
I don't think
they called it a
that.
Snap. I think they called it a Snap. What happened to Be Real? That shit died. Be Real fucking died.
Be Real. Oh, yeah. I did hear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's all posts, long or short. But yeah, I mean, I think you can throw 2-hour podcasts on fucking Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, I've watched them. And hypothetically, I like it because like the shareability of Twitter's and the discoverability of Twitter's actually probably the best.
Yeah.
You know? The algorithm's tight, which is like tight, not as in cool, but as in like works well, works quick. You go like 3 dog fucking tweets and your whole feed's going to be dogs.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. Which is good, right? And if you want to like cater your own things, as long as you're aware of it, you know? Obviously it becomes a little echo chambery if you get into real subjects, but if you're just there for entertainment, you can find just basketball shit. You can find just dog shit.
Right.
Hopefully not dog shit.
Not actual dog shit.
Dog things.
Maybe. But
yeah, poopy gone.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had some members compete. I lost track of how many actual members competed.
8 maybe?
That's a lot.
Yeah, maybe 8 compete and maybe 20 rolled down.
It was a lot. It was a lot of our regulars.
Yeah, I was thinking about powerlifting and like I was like, oh, I wonder if like there's every meet just like a big meet now, But then we've been to a bunch, me and Seabass, over the year, and like they're not, even though they feel like they are. A lot of them are selling out, which is cool because there's a demand and there's more lifters and there's not enough meet directors, which is fine. And that obviously depends on where you live. I'm talking California mostly. North is really, really thirsty for them, but the South as well. But two, like there's still a production value, and then there's still, which is cool. Shout out to Bart and them. Obviously, you all know that he's good friends of me, but it sounds like I'm jerking him off. But there's like a name,
beaching him off.
Yeah, there's still like a name, like an honor that comes with it. You know,
yeah.
Like going to another meet's cool and whatever, but Barbell's meet's still Barbell Brigade.
Right.
You know, after 10 years, that's saying something. And so like that meet still felt bigger. The crowd was still bigger. People would come just hang out. Where like a regular small meet, it is still just your girlfriend in the crowd. No one cares.
I would say this is a metric that you can't apply to very many powerlifting meets, but the toilet factor.
Oh yeah.
The meet that we had here, that we had 2-day meet.
Yeah.
Almost 200 lifters, whatever, and tons and tons and tons of people in the crowd. The toilets were trashed by mid-afternoon, day one.
Yeah.
And the ones at Barbell Brigade were not bad.
Yeah. They tried to do
at the end of the day.
They tried to do what we did. We didn't enforce that well, but we were trying to make indoor toilets, lifters, and staff, and outdoor toilets for everyone else. And they tried to do that. Maybe they enforced it pretty good. I don't know. Yeah, it always gets weird, right? You have 1,000 people come through a door.
Yeah. I have no idea how many people they had.
I don't know
attending in the crowd. Like
it was packed though.
It was, especially by the end of the day. It was really, really packed.
It was good.
Got very humid in there.
Yeah, it was a little dampy. It's crazy. You go 5 hours south, and LA is just more humid than here in general. But
yeah,
it gets
a little closer to the equator.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of lifts. Like the average strength level is insane. You know, you go to any meet and there's some strong motherfuckers stomping around. A lot of ladies, a lot of dudes. That was cool.
USAPL meet.
Yeah.
Started off scheduled as a USPA meet, and Bart wisely pulled away from that. And
yeah, they run about one meet a year. I think they might move into 2. They've had a lot of shifts, like as all brands do, but they have a really good GM in place for the gym, and I think he's grabbing the reins and kind of figuring out where and what he wants to do with the events, which is cool. Yeah. Yeah. USAPL, despite all the bullshit rules and headaches they have along the way, like the crowd right now is more cool, I guess. It's like a younger crowd. They're more into the sport. I think they're more enthusiastic of a crowd. They're less of a grumpy crowd. It tends to be more of a positive crowd. And I've been around a lot of them. And obviously there's tons of great lifters in the WRPF and stuff, but it feels like a tighter-knit community as of right now from my observations in the USAPL versus other feds. The feds have like all separated more, which I don't like. WRPF lifters, even worse than before, I think don't care and don't know USAPL lifters, and USAPL lifters don't know and don't care about untested lifters, which I think is lame. I think we should all, despite whether you wear knee sleeves or not, whether you use a deadlift bar or not, I think you should have a general respect for the sport and the history of it. So I think that's kind of dying, which sucks. But the communities within, because you can be part of like the niche community and like love a stiff bar and love the USAPL and love the IPF and all this bullshit, but still like understand like Dan Bell's a bad motherfucker, you know, like Dan Griggs is crazy, Jamal Browner, and they all know Jamal Browner, but that's probably just because he runs with Russ and the USAPL crowd. Yeah. Anybody else, like they don't know. Like Dan Griggs also pulls 1,000. That's a bad motherfucker. Dan Bell's the strongest dude to ever walk the planet. That's a bad motherfucker. Like you can still respect it. Which is weird, and part of it's just being young, I guess. But the opposite happens too. You know, the WRPF I could tell isn't as in tuned with where I just like watch powerlifting. Why can't you just like both?
Yeah,
you know. And the IPF rips, you know, some of the USAPL crowd again, and it just happens quick, you know. So I already predict in 2 or 3 years I don't think USAPL is going to be as popular as it is, unless something happens with the IPF. You know, it's probably not going to happen. I think
unless
the IPF.
They work out their issue or.
Yeah, because Powerlifting America already took the bid, though, so they're kind of fucked.
Yeah, well, they have to survive for that to be the case. I mean, there still hasn't been a big Powerlifting America meet in California.
No, but I don't know.
They had like one meet, very small number of lifters, something like that.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, the amount wasn't there, but I do know. Yeah, obviously it leads you to the IPF. And obviously nationals are going to be big. Yeah, I don't know, because the USAPL meets used to not be that big either, right? Because you're just trying to qualify for nationals.
Yeah.
It's just with the influx of lifters that local meets became big and cool because there's so many people trying to do them, right? Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see. We shall see. Things move quick, though, within the niche, because it's a big crowd, and the crowd's just a bunch of, not in an insulting way, a bunch of followers. So if something cool happens at powerlifting America, yeah, they'll all just dance over there. There's, like, no harm for them.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And as they get older, it'll be interesting, too. Like, they're all 20 to 28 now, but are they going to end up WRPF lifters? Because that plays a role, too. Just being younger, you're more likely to head the natty route, right? As you age, you may be more likely to dabble.
Yeah. So, Adrian got a first place. Did we have any other lifters get first place?
No, which is crazy. Like, Daniel put up like a 430 dots, the doctor we were talking about, which is really fucking strong. I don't even think he podiumed. That's like powerlifting, right? You just never know who's going to show up. And just randomly, people in his weight class were strong as shit. The dude weighs $160. I think he squatted 470, benched 308, pulled 530 or something. Like he's fucking strong. That's really strong for a local meet. And it is a little bit more than a local meet, right? It's Barbell Brigade. So it's
kind of a big regional meet.
Yeah, the people that are going to show up might be a little stronger than your very average meet, but I mean that's the beauty, and that's not to sound cliche and corny, but the beauty is you have a dot score and you try to improve that. You have 3 different PRs and you try to improve that. But I mean, you show up and John Hack shows up, you got no chance to win, and you can't control who signs up.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is part of the reason I don't like the sport, but part of the reason I think it's best for most people. There's, because it's not really a competition.
Yeah.
It's more just testing your strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a test.
Seabass, you were number 3.
Yeah.
In your weight class, what weight class are you?
Seabass podiumed in the 100 kilos. Very light 100 kilos.
Yeah, super light.
Yeah. He's on his way back down to the 90s, but competed 100. Podium's still good. PRs all around. Again, yeah, like who cares about the podium, right? If you hit a PR, if you feel good, you leave injury free.
And then he PR'd in the back room afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Went back and for his 4th attempt that wasn't on the platform, he pulled 595, right?
Yeah, 484. 584.
584.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is the kilo. Yeah. Good weekend, though. Quick turnaround. I'm tired. It was long.
I'm still tired.
Yeah.
You didn't hear it, apparently, but there was a just fucking giant loud concert.
Yeah.
At the outside the hotel.
Driving into the hotel, I could hear there's concerts everywhere because we were by like the Disney Hall concert and shit, and the music was loud. So I heard like 3 different bands, but I was just exhausted. Getting up early, and then the next day we got up early, got Avi a little training session in, like 6:30. Yeah, just getting done.
Concert did not knock off until midnight. I had to be up at 5 to go to the airport, and I woke up, 4:20 or something like that.
Blaze up.
And I never went back to sleep. I was just exhausted all day. Oh, and then on the trip home, this is the weirdest thing ever to me. The weirdest thing has ever happened to me on an airplane. There was a delay, number one. Like usually first flight out, you know that the plane is already there. It's like during the winter, that's actually kind of the move. If you absolutely have to get someplace, is you take the first plane out because it's been sitting there all night. Suddenly there's a maintenance problem at the last minute. They didn't do any maintenance during the night, apparently. They did all at the last minute, and there was a problem they couldn't solve. That took an hour, and then they finally canceled a flight to Vegas so that we could use that plane to come to Sacramento. I don't know, maybe there were more people on it. I don't know how they make this decision.
Yeah.
And then they get us all on the plane, and the pilot is like, apologizing for the delay and saying, hey, we kind of got in trouble last week, but we can actually like fly faster than whatever, and we're willing to do that to cut off some of the delay for you. So
going supersonic.
Yeah, right, whatever. And just as he's finishing saying that, this gate agent walks onto the plane and like, is there so-and-so on the plane? Does anybody have a boarding pass with this name on it? And no one responds. And she comes back 3 more times with just that thing, and nobody shows up. Finally, she says, well, that didn't work. Does anybody have the boarding pass B26? And one guy had the boarding pass B-26, and they took him off the plane. I don't know what the hell happened there.
I wonder if it was a part of the Vegas switch or some shit.
I think it might have possibly been.
Because if you get like your boarding pass the night before or late or early, and it still says like gate this or plane this,
but you have to scan your boarding pass getting
but
on
that's
the
on
plane.
them. Yeah, that's
yeah.
on them.
Well,
Yeah.
I think this is a systems problem,
Yeah.
and then
because it makes a weird beep.
yeah, and then well, that happened in front of me. Like I had a pretty low A number.
Yeah.
And it happened in front of me. This old guy's thing booped instead of beeped or whatever, and they still let him on the plane. So, but and he wasn't the one at issue for whatever reason.
Southwest is obviously they had the winter haggles that went fucking nuts,
well,
but
they just haven't invested in infrastructure the way they should.
Yeah,
have
it
by
sounds
this
like
point.
just all their data is a little backwards.
Yeah, and then so like finally, this gate agent comes in and says, "I need to check everyone's boarding pass and ID." So one person goes to the whole fucking plane, one person, person by person, to check their ID and their. And I didn't see them take anybody else off after that.
Yeah, it must have just been that dude.
But then they let this woman on at the last minute, and the other flight attendant is like, "Do you want to sit in an aisle or a middle seat or whatever?" And she's like, "I don't care. I just want to get on the plane."
Yeah.
At that point, that was another 45 minutes. So the whole flight was, almost 2 hours late.
Yeah, traveling sucks. We need to teleport.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need the teleportation.
Any other takeaways from this meet?
Not much, I took a little break from the pandemic and not going to meets and shit, and it has grown. It's growing like crazy. We had like a big burst, 2014 to 2016, but it seems like another huge burst. I see a lot of big social media folks running it. So it would just be interesting to see where it heads. Some of the higher ups need to lock in what the fuck they're doing to kind of allow this sport to grow. A lot of times it seems like it's self-inflicted.
Yes, it does. For sure.
Shit along the way.
Yeah.
Whether little rules of media or little rules of just like old boys club type shit.
A little bit of bias.
Yeah,
I would say.
And I don't know if you can get rid of that, because that's probably in the NBA, right? We always talk about like LeBron James gets more calls than X. Like there's going to be biases, but they can't like stop the whole bus, And I think it's proven that it won't, right? That's why the USAPL moved away from the IPF. And as soon as the complaints or the issues get louder, this crowd can go to the Powerlifting America. This crowd can go kind of anywhere. New feds. Powerlifting America is a brand new fed. And I have lived through 8 new feds being born and dying.
Probably at least.
Yeah, so it's possible. And it's not like these feds are born and then fail. Like they born, have a ton of success, and then fail. Yeah. So, anything's possible. But I just don't think some folks in charge, and I get it. You never think that your shit's going to dim out when you're catching momentum, but you got to kind of keep up. You got to act with some urgency when you're running businesses and you're running federations, and act like it matters, because it can kind of disappear. So it will be interesting in 3 years what may happen.
I think that part of it is because it's not really a big business in a lot of ways, and powerlifting is a hobby. But it's the people who are like, well, this is my hobby, and I want my hobby to be this particular way and not ever change or evolve.
Yeah.
That's when you run into problems.
Or if they change it in like weird ways, adding media rules or adding this rule or that rule, and maybe the intentions are good, but again, just in general, but powerlifters especially, like just because you know how to powerlift doesn't mean you're going to be a good gym owner, doesn't mean you're going to be a good meet director, doesn't mean you know what's best for the sport. And so I understand trying to make some decisions with your intentions may be good, but a lot of folks just don't always have foresight, in life, ripple effect, or think things through always, and that's like kind of number one to do anything major in business or projects or events. Like, can you see a couple steps ahead to see how these decisions you make or procedures you set up may turn up?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about the media thing and like barring any outside media.
Yeah,
that seems really weird to me.
I think it's still a thing at nationals.
I understand the issue of trying to make it profitable enough for the media company that you bring in to make money or to have exclusivity or whatever. But think about it this way. Say you're running a big meet and you make a deal with a hotel to do like, accommodations for your lifters and whatever, and then you require them to stay there.
Yeah.
To me, it's the same thing. You can't do that. You can't do that. I mean, I understand that you're trying to make the economics work for whoever is giving you the discounted lodging.
Yeah.
But you don't actually have control over people's behavior like that, and you shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, and just look at the scope of things. You know, like one, it is like social media driven, and anyone that says that's not the case is an like liar. Like the sport grew because of social media, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Where NBA and stuff did not. NBA was tied into ESPN or something that got a procedure because they thought they had a good product to view. Mm-hmm. But even them, they'll have one big contract for the main broadcast.
Right.
But you think, so say it's on TNT, you don't think ESPN magazine gets a photographer in there?
Oh yeah.
Right. You don't think CNN, if LeBron James and his son are on the same team, get a photographer in there or a journalist in there? Mm-hmm. Those press conferences have every news station on the planet. So yeah, how are you going to try to isolate back rooms and isolate access for cameras? It really does just constrict the amount of reach you have per event. Like it just kind of, again, getting in your own way, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
Kind of self-inflicting pain. Yeah, sure, the broadcast can be whatever company, because that's one gig. But then just say that. All right, no live streams of the event, or no, tripoded camera or whatever. You make like little rules, but just saying like, oh, you can't take pics, which is common. It's not every meet, but it's common. Just kind of makes no sense.
I've always thought that was just counterproductive.
Yeah.
Because, like, do you want people to know that you had a meet?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that
you don't want the free press?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they say all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, then just don't fuck up your meet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't fuck up your meet if you're scared of bad shit being pushed out.
Yeah, don't feel like you have to control the narrative like that. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
People aren't business folks always, sadly.
No. All right, I think that's about all I got today.
We might tap into Quarterbacks, I think it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, yeah, something like that, yeah.
I think it's called Quarterbacks on Netflix. I heard it's really good. Patrick Mahomes. I just saw some clips. He's working out, so we might tap into that soon. Ladies and gentlemen, brand new tee launch is live right now. You want to grab some of the Habitat launch, as well as our first comp meat tees. Same premium quality you are used to, 3sb.co. Goodcompany.discord.com if you want to tap in. You want to get first dibs on all clothing, all sizes before it sells out. Some of our sandals are still in, but a bunch have sold out in sizes. If you want to check those out, the first dibs is goodcompany.discord.com. Like-minded community. And I'm Silent Mike. Where you want to find me?
I actually have, speaking of the Discord, Ice got a pitch yesterday. A pretty good, like, here's the thing. We get pitched a lot of guests, and we don't take up very many of them because most of the time we've never heard of them, and if we've never heard of them, you've never heard of them, and you may not get anything at all. But I was pitched somebody who, like, early on we had Trip on the show to talk. We did like 3 shows about dating advice, and then I recently reran that show, or one of those shows. And if you are in the Discord, or you want to go to the Discord and let us know whether you would appreciate another show about dating advice. I was pitched someone in a similar space with a little bit different twist, who actually their PR person did their homework, because that never happens, right? I mean, I get pitched just blindly, and people like they pick up a couple of little things that we may have done lately to try to make it sound like they've actually paid attention to the show. But this is somebody who actually paid attention to the show and was able to cite all sorts of stuff that we've done. So this is one I'm willing to consider a little bit more if people are interested in dating advice. Beyond that, I am at the Jim McDonald, all the social media. This show is 50% facts, where percent is a word, and 50 is just numbers. 50% facts is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the Obscure Celebrity Network. And we'll talk to you Friday. Like I said, a good pitch from somebody. Yeah. The question is whether